Hello, Cosmic Missionaries. Happy Saturday. I know I said I wasn't going to come back to do an episode, but my inner being was really chatty over the last couple of 24 hours since I last recorded my video yesterday, which means I need to chat with you guys and get more of my message out there and what I have to tell you guys. In episode 4, I was talking about who is the animator, and I guess I didn't say everything I needed to say. The reason why, like I said, my inner being has been very chatty today. And that's when I was at the gym because it's Saturday today. I had a beautiful night with my friends. Let me backtrack. I went out last night with my friends. We had a really great time just to catch up over cocktails at Moe's. And then we went to a friend's vinyl and martini party at his mid-century shop. That was great. Great vinyls. Shout out to DJ Nestor. He was great yesterday. I bought a typewriter. I actually was conscious that I was doing it yesterday. It was actually a thing. And then I bought 2 records at my friend's store. And after that, went to the loft, had more cocktails and drinks, and I just came back to my apartment and just slept until this morning. And like I said, when I woke up this morning, I was trying to meditate, and I did meditate, but my inner being was being very chatty. And I got my coffee, I reviewed my video from yesterday, and that's when I got the message that we're not done talking yet. And so that's why I'm very feeling very creative today. And I was at the gym and I was on shoulder day, and all of these messages and chats just kept coming through my mind, which meant I needed to press record again. And I actually wrote the whole entire episode 5, while I was at the gym. So episode 5 is really going to do a deeper journey into knowing yourself. And this is official now. This is episode 5 of the Cosmic Mission, which is titled Nosce de ipsum, which is Latin for thine own self, know. Or in our English version now, is know thyself. And I'm just going to jump right into what I have to say. And I believe in my last episode, I left off on the word evolution, which means to evolve into something better, a better version of yourself. But when we read the wording backwards, it says, know it you love. And knowing yourself is really the path to true happiness. And the reason why I say that is because when you rediscover who you are, you rediscover what you love. You know what your passions are. You truly know what it means to be happy. You know what it means to be blissful. You know what brings you joy. And that's what I wanted to ask you guys is, what are your passions? If you don't know those passions, it's time to start asking yourself questions. Ask yourself what truly makes yourself happy. What makes you blissful? And then also, ultimately, what brings you joy? If you're still not coming up with those answers right away, it's time to start thinking about it, guys. It's really time to start living your lives out loud and blissful and happy, and ditch the matrix way that you have to be in misery and stressed out all the time. That's not the way life is supposed to go. That's not the way I want my other star travelers and cosmic missionaries out there to go about your lives. I want you guys to be happy and blissful. And I'll tell you a few things about myself that makes me happy and blissful all day. I love to lift. I love to dance, as we talked about. I like to do yoga. I like to cycle. I like to go to parks. I like clouds. I like, cold slushies sometimes. That makes me happy. I love food. Just last night I had some French fries. I felt great. It was like a gift to myself of being so good all week. And then I love pets. I love coloring. I like reading. I like journaling. I love plants, as you can see. I love to drink wine. That's a pleasure of mine. I love to do and have great conversations with friends. Pleasure, hikes, walks. I always love going to the beach. That is my most happiest place in my life. The reason why I'm down here in San Diego. And I do all these things on the regular, just to tell you guys that I regularly do this stuff to make myself happy or feel happy, doing what I love. That is ultimately what I do every day. And now the question for you guys is, what brings you joy? And I encourage all of you guys to get your journals back out again and really start journaling what you love as you're listening to me talk to you guys today or in this episode. And just right off the top of your head, whatever is on the top of your head, that is like your inner being talking to you. You really don't have to do a deep dive. It's just off the top of your head, you know exactly what brings you joy. And then maybe in a few minutes, you start to think about other things that bring you joy. So when you guys are looking back at what you wrote, those are the things that really bring you the love and joy in your life. And those are the things I encourage you guys to start doing as you go forward from listening to this episode today. And then if you guys have never asked yourself, ask yourself what brings you joy. And then if you're not doing what you love, then ask yourself, why am I not doing things that I love? So that's a big question and a deep dive I want you guys to become aware of as we go about this podcast episode today. And then I wanted to bring up one of my favorite movies, or at least my top 5 movie, Under the Tuscan Sun. If you guys have never watched it before, it's a really lovely romantic comedy with Diane Lane. But more importantly, if you guys never watched the movie before, Diane Lane's character, Frances, she starts off as a writer in San Francisco. She has a beautiful life. She meets this guy that tells her husband is cheating on her. So now she goes through this bitter divorce, and then we cut to see her as like this scrunched down, depressed, divorcee, and she's just skimming through life. And a little serendipitous moment happens to her when she's going to a friend's birthday, actually. And it was 2 lesbians that was her best friends in San Francisco. And they're like, well, we're pregnant now, so we can't take our tour of Tuscany or Italy. So how about we just upgrade the ticket and give it to you? And of course, Frances first said, I'm not doing it. I'm depressed. I can't do it. I'm too sad to go to Italy. And then that's when her friend Patty told her, have you ever seen those empty shell people in your life, and you're asking them and you're looking at them asking, what happened to you? And she was saying, don't be that empty shell person. Take this other path and try to find some happiness. And so after that little speech about the empty shell people, that's when Frances took the Tuscan Tuscan tour. Fun fact about the tour was it was a LGBTQ plus tour. So she was on the bus with all these, beautiful gay and lesbian people from San Francisco. And so anyway, they're at the market, and Frances is looking at this, houses for sale. We all do that when we travel. Sometimes we just randomly look to see what's for sale. And then as Frances is looking at this property called Brahma Sole, that's when Catherine, or Lindsay Duncan's character, comes up behind her and says, Brahma Sole, great manor. Are you going to buy it? And then that's when Frances says, oh, no, I'm just a traveler. Yeah, I'm not going to buy the house. It's just a terrible idea. And then the really great part about the film I like is Catherine tells Frances, terrible ideas. Don't you just love those? And right in that moment, Frances was just like, I can't believe, because I've always said that. Or Frances told herself that. So, with that movie talking about terrible ideas, Frances went ahead and bought this manor, and she moves herself from San Francisco to Tuscany. And, she has buyer's remorse at first, and she's wondering what she's doing in Italy. But what she finds out there is she observes Catherine, Lindsay Duncan's character. Catherine is like this radiant, blonde, human being that dresses to the nines every day. She's always happy. She's doing things she loves. So what brought me to this movie scene is where Frances and Catherine are at night. Frances is still in her black clothing, and Catherine living out loud with her beautiful dresses. And so Catherine is just gobbling down this gelato, this cone gelato, and Francis looks to her and says, "How do you do this?" And then Catherine says, "Do what?" And Francis is just like, "This. You're always happy. You're always radiant. How are you always doing this?" And that's when Catherine says, "Oh, sweetie, ice cream makes me happy, so I eat it." And so, that's what I really took away from that movie is, Catherine was always living out loud. She was always living in her truth. And whatever made her happy, she did it. And, that's why that movie still registers as my top five, is because, I learned how to live happily. I learned how to be and live spiritually in all directions, feeling my body, feeling my hearing, senses, everything is on fire. Everything is living spiritually within me. So that's why that's one of my top movies I love to watch over and over again. I've probably watched it 1,000 times. But that's an example of just how you guys can go about every day living your life in joy is doing something that you love. It doesn't have to be something you're going to start next year or, next couple of months. Do it today. Do something that you love. Start making yourself happy today. Don't wait for the New Year's resolution, January 1st, to do something. You guys can always start today. If you don't want to start today, do it tomorrow. There's always things you guys can do to make yourself happy. Do not live a, nightmare of a life. That's not how I don't want you guys to live that way. Be in love and be happy. Let's go forward with that, cosmic missionaries. And then a deeper connection. Let's make a deeper connection from just ice cream. I want to suggest if a career change is calling to you, change the career. If your job is no longer making you happy, find something that will make you happy. If school is calling you back, go back to school. Change your life. Like I said, you don't have to wait until next year. Do it today. Do it this year. Don't let another year slip by without you doing what you love. Like we talked about in my episode 4, we only have this avatar for 77 years. Let's make the best of it. If you guys are seeking love, don't look for the exterior love. Don't try to find a new boyfriend or girlfriend. The love is here. When you love yourself, when you love your vessel, then you can start looking for the exterior. Love should be the sweet icing on the cake in life. You should already be in love with yourself. Being in love with someone else will just, sweeten the deal and take your love to a different level. But, guys, once again, don't look outside for love. Love is right inside of you. As long as you tell yourself that you love yourself, everything that you need to be a successful star traveler will start coming out of you if you believe it. And then if living in another country is calling your name, like we just talked about with Francis, moving to Italy on a whim, do that. If that's going to make you happy, do that, and then you can grow from there. And I just highly suggest you guys just follow your inner child. And I believe I touched on that in the last episode was, when you meditate and really start going back into your inner self, your inner child, and remembering how you were when you were a child, then you can really start coming back into love with yourself and relearning yourself. Like I talked about before, your inner child or your very young self holds the secrets to your soul. So that's who you need to talk to. That's who you need to reconnect with to come back to what you love, come back to life, and become a blissful, happy person again. And I do encourage all of you guys to evolve into love. Like I said, evolve out of being stressed and depressed and sad all the time. And why not lean into being happy, blissful, joyous? Kindness, that's another great thing I like to do every day. Zap kindness, that was one of my mindful cards I truly loved all the time. And when I used to do mindfulness with mindful cards, like every day I would draw a different mindful card and I would go and do that all, throughout my whole entire day. And whenever I chose Zap kindness, it was always the funnest card to draw because it was just like telling people, oh, you're beautiful today. Oh, you're gorgeous today. Thank you very much, love. So it's just like you just start spreading kindness, you start spreading joy. And I still do that to this day, especially when I go to Starbucks. Like, they love to hear about my traveling experience, and I gift them with that. And then I also gift them with different chocolates, and they're just over the moon about all the stuff. So it's reciprocated on both sides when we spread kindness. It just starts this rolling effect to where the kindness just starts catching on, and then you hear other people doing it, and it's just really an amazing, beautiful thing when we just do that kindness and love. And making more of the connection, guys. I still want you to be curious about everyone and everything, and that includes yourself. Um, when you guys are going about your lives, be curious again. Be that inner child that is curious about everything that you do in this life and everyone that you meet in this life. And I think that will take you really far once you start being curious about everyone and everything. And in episode 4, I had so much to talk about. I didn't really get into how meditation really works. And, like we talked about, going into more advanced meditations. We didn't get into all that. And so we're going to do it right now, or try to not try. We are going to do it right now. Like I said, when we are living, when we're conscious, we're in the beta. We're in our beta brainwaves. And the reason why, like we talked about before at episode 2, you want to close your eyes, shut off the windows to the soul, and now you're just listening and paying attention and you're aware. And what that's doing is it's just, shutting down certain brain waves within your brain to soften and slow down a little bit. And so your brain waves are more fluid, more a little slower than where it is in the beta. So, like we talked about, 10, 20 minutes of breath work. You can breathe in and out slowly. You can do the box method, which is, breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and then exhale for 4, and then you hold it for 4. So sometimes people can do that breath work, and that's another way to calm your body, calm your mind. If like I said, inhale your breath for 4, then you hold it for 4, exhale for 4 counts, and then you hold your breath for 4 counts. So you could do that in a cycle, and that's another way to tell your body to relax, tell your mind to relax. And what we're trying to do here, guys, is take your brain, shift it from beta, and take it back down into an alpha state. Now, I don't think I really touched on alpha too much, but alpha is really just it's like the loading program or the loading dock. And like we talked about before when we were in episode 4 about the Matrix, when we saw Neo, that's where Neo was at. His brain waves were in an alpha state. So he can download and make that bridge into the theta, which, like we talked about, that's our subconscious. And the reason why we want to go into alpha is because you can now start going into your database or your brain, your computer, and you can start editing, deleting, editing, and upgrading software. So that's why meditation is always encouraged. That's why breath work is always encouraged. Is because we can start doing the work, doing the editing. So you can go in there, start deciphering what is going to work for you, what no longer serves you. You can uninstall apps, install new apps and emotions. This requires patience and time, guys. It's not, for me, well, at least for my journey, it took me at least a couple of weeks to a month to really get this practice down, to where I can go in there and edit at night or when I wake up, and I can just get all these downloads done and do the editing, and then wake up as a new refreshed person. And like I said, the hardest part about this whole editing thing is letting go of your old self. And the reason why I say it's so hard for some people to let go of their old self is because they're so familiar with being stressed, being anxious, always on the go, learned behaviors, learned emotions, learned gender assignments, learned zodiac traits. All that stuff that we hang on to is hard to let go because people can be afraid of new change, and they just stay with the old and say, we don't forget about it. I'm just not going to do it. But like I said, guys, with time and persistence, these things do change, and you will start noticing these little subtle changes as you wake up or as you go about your day. And the reinforcement really comes when other people now say, oh my gosh, you seem like a different person. I can't believe you're saying that. And that's where the reinforcement is going to come from. And you're going to hear yourself, and others are going to hear it and see it. And once you guys, make that bridge and connection, you're going to want to keep going back in there to do more editing, do more cleaning. And then like I said, we can start with new apps out there from the spiritual realm, and you can really evolve into a beautiful human being. You guys already are, but we can still, including myself, we can always do more evolution, more reflection. And that's what this whole cycle is about. It's all about flow. You're flowing with life. That's all you're doing. When you get stuck in your ways, that's never a good thing, guys. You have to flow with life. It's always moving. There's a vibration to this whole entire physical world, and you got to move with it. It's ups and downs, but you got to go with the flow. And the best time to do these updates in your hardware, guys, or editing is at night. And the reason why we do that at night or when we get up is because your body or your brain waves are slowing down, because your brain starts to release chemical melatonin. And what that's doing is taking your brain waves from beta and shifting it to alpha. So everything you just learned over the day is going to eventually get downloaded into your subconscious when you're sleeping at night, or when your body is asleep. Your brain is still, or your higher self is still doing stuff within inside your brain. You don't even know it, but it's doing a lot of stuff in there. And if you guys recall, I want to bring up this an older memory of, at least for me, our study skills in school. When we were learning how to study, I remember my teachers would always tell us, and my mom too, study right before bed, bedtime. And studying before bedtime is just like we talked about. It's your brain's time to release melatonin, bring it into the alpha loading program. So when you do go to sleep after just reviewing all of that material or your assignment, or gearing up for a test, now everything you just loaded into your construct or your loading program, now your brain at night is going to release and download all that information into your subconscious. And that's why sleep is so important for the body, so important for the brain, is because the brain does a complete reset, a complete download at night when you're sleeping. And then when you guys start going into the REM, deeper sleep, or delta, that's getting back, way back, and it's really just putting all that information into the hardware, to the mainframe. And that's how all this works. And so as I was putting this episode together, I was really thinking about how, thinking before bedtime of new behaviors or old behaviors. Now we're tapping into how we learn things and how things get downloaded into the body. And like I said, once we go deeper into sleep, let's say for 8 or 10 hours, now all that information is being stored, like I said, into the hard drive, and eventually think about it as a USB memory stick. You're just downloading all this information, and that's what your brain is doing at mine. So after 8 to 10 hours of sleeping, you guys wake up in the morning. You're not quite back at beta when you wake up. So that's why it's another good time for you guys to just immediately get up, while your brain is still waking up, is still in the alpha stage, and you just start doing your meditations and doing more downloads from there. So that's why it's encouraged at night or when you guys first wake up to do your meditations, or review your uh, information that you've learned. So it now can go back into your subconscious, and then when you shift back into beta, you're ready to go. You're a new person, and now you can easily recall everything you just learned from overnight. And like I said, guys, one night, two nights, it may or may not cut it. You're gonna have to practice. Anything in life you have to practice, right? So why not start practicing how to meditate, and really how to learn information and how it's stored, and get the proper amount of sleep so your body can rest, your mind can go to work, and then once you wake up in the next day, now you're ready to go. You're fresh, you're a new person, and you have these unlearned behaviors and new behaviors inside of you, and you can just function without really thinking about it. Your mind's got it. It's creating new neural pathways. That's what we're really doing ultimately at night. You're pruning the old ones, and then you're creating new ones. And that's what I want you guys to take away from this episode about meditation. Is that's all really it is once you get a hold of it. So I also want to share with you guys, put that all together, study skills that we learned along the way in school. Why not apply those same concepts to unlearning behaviors, learning new ones? Like we talked about, pruning the old ones. I'm going to use my scissors, prune the old ones so you can create new healthy paths within your mind. And that's ultimately what the Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself book is all about, is pruning the old ones, creating new pathways. But you have to do the work first in order for that new pathway to be clear and clean. And this is the way to do it. So I encourage all of you guys to try this today, tomorrow, maybe next week, if you guys don't have the time, or make the time. Turn off your phones at a certain time. I do it. Normally about around 10 or 10:30, I'll put my phone into do not disturb, and I'll either journal or watch a movie that I really like, or listen to a podcast. And I've stopped myself from, looking at the digital world. It just stops my brain from looking at all that. And then just stop scrolling, guys. You've got to stop the scrolling, because when you're scrolling, you're still keeping your mind into beta. It's still doing its thing really quickly. And what you guys want to do is that you want to start bringing your mind down at a certain time. And you want to start telling yourself it's bedtime, so your brain can now look forward to going to sleep, and it releases the melatonin into the body, down into your muscles and your body, and chemically. And so eventually, when you get off that phone, you guys can start winding down naturally and go to bed. And like I said, you want to get into the alpha state, so when you lay down, everything gets downloaded. And I'm just going to share another thing that I do. I used to think my memory was slipping. And I went to a psychic years ago, a farmer's market in San Diego. And when I first went to go see him, he said that he was like, "Your memory's not slipping." And I'm like, "Well, how did you know that?" He was just like, "Something was telling me that." And he was just like, "How about you practice right before bed? You go through your day." And that's what I did. I went back home that same day, and then around nighttime before bed, I went through my day, which was pretty easy, because your mind can go forward in time. It's pretty easy to remember stuff. So I did that for a few months, and I went back to go see him just to check on my bracelets to make sure they were still good and healthy. And when I saw him, he was just like, "Great job, but now I want you to work backwards in time." And that's how my memory came back to life when I did that at night. So every night, and this includes when every day, last night too, even after a night of cocktails, I still laid in my bed, and I started with the last thing that I did, and I worked my way back in time to when I first woke up. And I do that every night because I know names or people that I've met gets downloaded into my memory. So next time I see them, I instantly know their name. If I'm doing something new at the gym, like a new weight, or I did something different in yoga, now I'm thinking about it and now it's getting downloaded into my subconscious. So when I go for that same move again, I'm easily doing it. That's what I mean by meditation has changed my yoga flow. When I'm at work, if I learn something new that day, I remind myself of that new thing. So when it's recalled again, it's my body is doing it. So that's another trick I challenge you guys with is right before bed as you're meditating, go back through your day or go through your day and just go. It might take 20 or 30 minutes, but you have to talk to yourself so you can download all the information that you just learned from the day and it can be solidified into your memory. And that's the best way my memory came back. So whenever I do, for instance, see different coworkers, I know their name. They're like, "How did you know that?" I don't tell them that my secret, but that's what I do at night. And I told one of my coworkers that actually because we were talking about. She saw my podcast and we were talking about that stuff, and I told her, this is how I build my memory. So hopefully it's working for her, but and hopefully it works for you guys. It's still working for me. Like I said, my memory is exceptional now. There might be a few slips here and there, but I would say 95% of the time, I'm gonna remember people, remember names, remember events like the back of my hand. So if you guys think your memory is slipping, give it an exercise at night. Go back through your day and let it download into your mind, and I think it's gonna change your life. So yeah, guys, I think that's what I wanted to tell you guys about meditation. And the next thing I want to talk about with this Know Thyself episode is forgiveness. And I touched on it at the end of my episode, but I don't think I fully said what I had to say about forgiveness. And like we talked about, forgiveness really starts with you. Is having a truthful conversation with yourself. No more hiding, guys. No more pretending. No more, thinking everything's all good when it's not. You have to have those difficult conversations with yourself. Um, and like I said, it really starts with that Hawaiian prayer, Ho'oponopono. And like I said, I use that to this day. And if you guys want to look it up on Google or another website, it's 4 principles, and I'll go through them one more time. The first principle of Ho'oponopono is I'm sorry. That's the first one. The second one is please forgive me. The third one is thank you. And then the fourth principle is I love you. And I'm going to share a story with you guys about that. I was watching a podcast about this Ho'oponopono. And the guy was talking about it. I never heard this before. And as soon as I finished the episode, I turned my phone off. I turned off the TV. I had my candle lit already, and I had dimmed the lights in my apartment. And I just said these 4 principles out loud to myself. And I don't know, something just registered in me, and it said I'm listening. And something just told me to go to my mirror in my bathroom. I turned the light on. And as I'm looking at you guys, I'm talking to myself in the mirror, and I said, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you to myself. And like I said, the waterworks just started coming out. And I really felt like I was talking to my higher self and telling my higher self, I am so sorry for the muck and mess that I have made, by taking the reins, years ago, decades ago. And I'm sorry. This is the time. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you for putting up with my stuff, but I love you still. And, let's move forward. And the calmness that came over me that night, it was almost supernatural. Like I said, my phone was off, the lights were dim. I think I sat up for another 30 minutes, but I started getting drowsy. So I blew up my candle, open up my window, my blinds so my plants can get sun in the morning. And I went to bed after saying that prayer. And I kid you not, guys, I woke up the next morning happy. I didn't have to tell myself I was happy that day. I just knew it. And I just felt in love for the first time. And like I said, guys, that's where I think I said it in my first or second video when I said I fell back in love. That's how I fell back in love with my life and who I am is Ho'oponopono. And saying that prayer, I did that for almost a week, every day, every night. And the love that was just coming out of me was just natural now. I didn't have to tell myself I'm in love anymore. I didn't have to tell myself I'm joyful today. I didn't have to tell myself I'm happy. I woke up that way. So any of you guys who are, stuck or feeling you don't like yourself, you don't love yourself, try Ho'oponopono, say the prayer, use the 4 principles. It's really going to change your life. I'm not even kidding, guys. Try the principle. It's going to work for you. Believe it. Get back in love with yourself. Get back in touch with yourself. Love your inner child. And I think you guys are really going to start clearing the pathway once you start getting into true forgiveness. And, like I want to expand on now is, Ho'oponopono, it makes the dreamer fully accountable for what happened in their life, the decisions and choices that they made. And it also gives the dreamer to forgive themselves for all these choices. It helps the dreamer forgive its parents that they grew up with. It starts to help the dreamer heal with family members, with friends, with coworkers, even people who aren't here in the physical world anymore. They can still hear you. So, like I said, guys, try not to do Ho'oponopono in your mind. Say it out loud, because when we use our voice box, mine is pretty big, but when you use your voice box, that vibration goes out into the universe. It goes out into the quantum field. So when that vibration travels across the quantum field, the person you're channeling can hear it. The person you're channeling probably is thinking about you because you're thinking about them, and they feel that forgiveness. So that's why Ho'oponopono is such a wonderful forgiveness tool, is because you're forgiving yourself, you're forgiving others, and you're truly moving forward in forgiveness. And what I want to say about that is, guys, as a star being, we cannot still forgive in the matrix terms. And what the matrix term is in this physical matrix is forgive and remember. That's not the way to do it. That's not the road you guys should be going down. It should be, or I encourage you guys to, and it's a dark road. Let me go into that. When you guys do forgive and remember, it's a dark path. It's a dark path of animosity, withheld anger, withheld hate. You blame others and you hold in emotions and you never deal with it. That's why when people, go about their lives and they still see someone, they still have that same trigger animosity feelings. That's what it is. You've never dealt with the forgiveness part. You never dealt with the forgetting part. And that's what Ho'oponopono really is going to help you guys move forward with your lives and actually truly forgive and forget. And when you guys truly forgive and forget, you create a new, clean, clear, light path within you. So now when you see that person, you see nothing but love for them now, because you've already forgiven it. You've forgiven them and forgotten about it. So now you can rebuild something. If you still want to be with that person, that's the thing. It's your choice. If you still want to be back in love with that person, you still want that relationship with that person, Ho'oponopono. You got to do those 4 prayers and think about that person as you're doing those prayers. That's another connection I forgot to tell you guys. you have to think about the person that you are saying this prayer to. And like we talked about, once you guys use your voice box, get that vibration into the quantum field, that person's going to feel it. That person's going to think about you. And the next time you guys talk to each other, guess what? It's going to be nothing but love. All that stuff melts away. All that animosity is gone. All that living in the past stuff is gone. It's just going to be nothing but love and kindness when you see that person again. And so, like I said, guys, even people who aren't here anymore, or spirits who aren't here anymore, they still feel the connection too, guys. So, you have loved ones that, you want to apologize stuff to or apologize about. You can still do it with Ho'oponopono. It's going to work, guys. Try it out. I encourage you guys to do it. After this episode, if you try it, leave comments if it worked for you. If not, I still want to hear you guys' feedback. Because like I said, it worked for me. I'm such a happy person. Just to let you guys know, it was me that created a distant relationship with my parents. And just over the last, couple of months, we've gone through a lot of rebuilding. And, Ho'oponopono has definitely helped me get over, whatever feelings I had about it. And, we're having a really good, healthy relationship now. And I'm really grateful that, this prayer landed on me, because it really has changed my life. It really has changed how I go about my life with people in my life. And I encourage you guys to do that. And, like I said, guys, once you do Ho'oponopono as a part of your belief system, you will feel lighter, you'll feel happier, and you're let go of the past. You're finally let go of the past. This is how you let go of the past. Ho'oponopono. Let go of the past. And this is just a personal message for people who are stuck in the past. You can't live there. You can't live in the past. The past, it's a universal law. You cannot change the past. The past cannot be changed. And it doesn't matter how many conversations you have in your mind. Doesn't matter how many conversations you have with other people about the past. Guys, it's never going to change. Living in the past, to me, I feel is just wasted time and wasted effort and a wasted space of your mind. When you can't change something, or the person is no longer here to talk about the change or to talk about the past with, why are you still harboring these emotions? Why are you still living in the past? And like I said, guys, starting a new path is forgiveness. It's Ho'oponopono. You gotta forgive. You have to fully forgive, not just forgive and remember, but forgive and forget. And then once you guys do forget, fall in love. Say thank you and I love you. And that would take you very far if you guys do that. And I'm just going to tell you guys another thing I want to expand on is, like we talked about, you can't change the past. But guess what you can change? You can change the present time, right now. Changes in your present life or your present time, you are now altering your future. And remember, we talked about this in episode 4, guys. You are the mental alchemist, meaning you can spin your reality into gold and shift into a golden era in your life. That's the key point I touched on last episode, and this is what I want to drill home to you guys today. You are the mental alchemist. You are the alchemist. You can spin, like I said, that lesser, let's say nickel metal, and you can spin it into gold, meaning you can always change your reality. But you got to understand, like I said, the elements and the rules of engagement. So now you can be the alchemist and you can change whatever reality you would like to live in as an alchemist. That's how you trick the future. You change the current time, which alters your future. And I want you guys to evolve your thinking into, today is the day you shift into your golden era. This is the day you turn your life into gold. You make it golden again. You make it shine. You make it viable again. You make it to the point where it's untarnished, because we know gold doesn't tarnish. It's just everything about gold, that's where you guys want to be, and unbothered as well by the elements. So that's another way to think about how to live in your golden era. And that can be done today, it could be done tomorrow, it could be done next week, this month. But don't delay it till next year, guys. We got to shift out of that Western way of thinking that, new year, new me. No, new me starts today. That's what I did. That's what I chose to do. My new me started about a year ago, or earlier this year, actually, about February, March. That's when I really started the new Al. And it was a quiet change because I didn't tell anyone what I was doing. People would say your phone was off, you're MIA. Where are you in the world? We don't see you post anymore. And just to give you guys an explanation, that's what I was doing. I was clearing the path, doing the work, crying on my days off, writing in my journal. I was deleting, editing, installing. Al was doing a lot of stuff over the last couple of months that landed me in front of this camera today, sharing with you guys. So hopefully that is some encouragement for you guys. Is within, I want to say 6 to 7 months, I've changed my life, and it feels so good. I don't want to go back to that old person, that old Al. And for me, with all the skills that I've learned, going into, other environments now, I'm able to move as an alchemist. I'm able to move as the skilled swimmer now. And I'm able to stick to my guns and, so to say, and really move with what's authentic to me, what's authentic to Al, because I know myself now. I know what Al likes. I know what Al doesn't like. Like last night, for instance, I could have been the old Al, and I could have kept drinking, drinking, and drinking until I pass out. But last night, I consciously, slowly drank. I had 2 cocktails, like I said, at Moe's. I had some water with it. Went to my friend's place. I had 1 cocktail there. And then we went to another place, the Loft. I had 1 cocktail there. So it's just like, guys, I pace myself. That's what I'm reaching for. I pace myself now. I'm conscious. My mind is there. It's like I still can do things I love to do, but there is a way to do it now. And I'm not going beyond that pleasure principle. I'm staying right in it and flowing with it. And it really felt great last night to, feel relaxed with my friends and go about the day consciously and have a beautiful time. And, that's what all this, what I'm trying to tell you, or trying to convey over to you guys, is once you do the work and you go back into the regular everyday environment, you're going to see things a lot differently. You're going to see your dreamscape way differently than you did before when you start, like I said, becoming the alchemist in your life. And I just want to tell you guys once again, this is alchemy come to life. This is what alchemy is, changing things. You are the dreamer. You are the master. You can change anything that you do in your life. And another thing that I came up with as I was putting this episode together today is I want you guys to evolve out of what they teach us in the Matrix. I want you guys to evolve out of life is a nightmare. That is the lie. Life doesn't have to be the nightmare, because they always tell us, this is a nightmare, heaven is the paradise. Well, we're not entirely sure in that, are we? But what we can do is stop the suffering, stop the self-hate, stop the doubts, stop the fear, stop living in the nightmare. And you guys can be the alchemist and shift your life into a beautiful dream. I'm going to say that again, guys. As a mental alchemist, as a cosmic missionary, you guys can now shift your life into a beautiful dream. And that's what I want to tell you guys going forward is after doing all this work, doing all this research, living a beautiful dream, there's nothing wrong with it. And, like I said, the Western way, especially here in America, they really want to believe this is the hell, and it's not hell. If it doesn't have to be like that, guys. You can live a beautiful nightmare. I mean, a beautiful dream. I love that song by Beyonce. Sweet dreams are a beautiful nightmare. But that's what I want to tell you guys is let's live a beautiful dream for once. Let's be happy, let's be blissful. And this is the way to do it. You alter the present I'm sorry, you change the present, you alter the future. That's how that works with mental alchemy. And then for the people who live in the future, where you're always stressed and anxious about the future, doing these exercises, this is the way to stop stressing about the future. When you live in the present time and you start making changes in your present time, like we just touched on, now your future is gonna be great because you've done the work in the present. Now your path is different now. It's changed. Try it out. I did it, and it worked every time. When I made little changes in my present day, week, month, my future outcome is exactly the way I saw it. It's exactly the way I dreamed it. And it's just so serendipitous, and it's just mind blowing when I actually experience these things. And I'm like, oh my God, I remember telling myself this. I remember dreaming about this. And here it is coming to life in front of me. So, hopefully you guys those people who live in the future, you can stop living in the future, change your present. Your future is automatically going to change. So that's the advice I wanted to give to you guys. And also, once again, guys, live in now, change the now so your future can unfold the way you want it. That's how living as a true mental alchemist works, in my opinion. Um, let's see what else I can talk to you guys about. So, another way we can describe, changing the present is if you guys have ever watched the movie Inception. And I know it's a long movie because I watched it like 1,000 times. But that is the main concept in Inception is that when you change the subconscious, we change the future, the present subconscious, it changes your future outcome. For instance, Dom and his his friends, they hack into Fisher's subconscious, which is they're in his subconscious dreaming together. And what they all do is that they go into his subconscious, they alter his train of thought by saying, I want to break up my dad's empire and build something new for myself. And that's what they put into his subconscious while he was sleeping. So when everyone woke up from this shared dream, Fisher now has a new outlook on life. His whole entire way of doing things has shifted. So that's why I said, guys, back to this earlier in this episode, when you're doing the stuff while you're sleeping or before you sleep, now you wake up with a new look on life. And that's what Fisher did. His future life changed. He actually told his Uncle Peter, hey Uncle Peter, I'm gonna be my own man. I'm gonna start my own company. I'm gonna build it better than my dad. So that's a prime example of how changing your subconscious can change your present subconscious, can change your future outcome. And if you guys ever watched the movie and you were confused, that is the main concept. You are welcome. Like I said, I've watched that movie 1,000 times, and it took me a while to figure out what the heck was going on there. But once you get past the multiple dreams, you start to see what the movie is really about. And that's one of the major concepts in the movie. Of course, there's other ones. Like I said, I'm going to try to bring a friend on and maybe we have some wine and we could talk about Inception and really do a deep journey into dreams within dreams and how to come out of those dreams within dreams. So I'll talk to her, see if she wants to do it. We'll see what happens with that. And another technique that I learned while I was doing my waking experience, it was three things, and I saw it on a different podcast, and then I saw the actual individual talk about this. Is three principles. It says is thought, word, and deed. And the way that I was able to understand that is, the thought to change your reality is mental. When you think of a new idea, when you think of how to change your life, it starts with a thought, right? It's in your mental. It's up here in your computer. Now, to try to make that bridge connection, The next part is the word, is the speech, right? Like I said, guys, we use our speech, we use our voice. That voice is just not just for talking, it releases the vibrations into the universe. So you take the thought you just had, now you say it out loud. So not only is the universe listening, but you're listening. Your inner being is listening. You're taking the thought from here into the universe, into yourself. Your body hears it too. And the deed part is the doing or the feeling part. So that is taking a thought, saying a thought, and then now you're doing the thought, which is now downloading into the body. And this is how you guys bring ideas into the body, new emotions into the body. You think it, you say it, and then you feel it. And that's how you guys change your new. That's how you download new emotions, and that's what I've been doing for the last couple months. Is thinking it, saying it, and feeling it. That's how I processed that technique was. And I told a coworker about it. Hopefully, she's doing it. But this technique requires practice, guys. So if you do it almost every day, you'll start becoming the master of your life, because you think of ideas, you say the idea, and then you start doing and feeling the idea. Now your body has time to start catching up to the mind. And this is how you start downloading stuff into the body. You start downloading happiness into the body. You start downloading a new idea into the body. You start downloading a new activity into the body. You start downloading a language. Some people learning languages. That's a good way to start. You think it, say it, feel it. And once you do those three things, it's instantly gonna come into your body, and you're just gonna process it, and then you're gonna move on. So that's another technique that requires, like I said, skill. You become the master of your life. You become the skilled swimmer finally in your life. No longer the floating log like we talked about before in episode 2 or episode 3. You're stop being driftwood. If you guys, that's a good analogy to think about how people go through life. That's how I went through my life for a very long time. I felt like driftwood, but now I feel like a skilled master swimmer, swimming through life with purpose, being unafraid of the depth that's below me, and swimming in the ocean with endurance, meaning it's not a race, it's a marathon. Life is a marathon. And that's how I'm going about my life right now. And hopefully that will encourage you guys to go about your lives almost in the same manner. Maybe you find a different way to master those three things we just talked about. But I think it's a great technique to start if you guys want to really truly start changing your outcome of life and how to become that skilled swimming athlete in the ocean and being unbothered by it too. And also want to say a couple more things to you guys. Like back in the Matrix, Morpheus was telling Neo, don't know you are. Don't think you are. Know you are. I'm going to say it again because I kind of screwed it up. But don't think you are the master. Know you are the master. And when you guys know you are the master, that really changes your perception in your mind and your body. So when you guys just say, oh, I think I am. No, you know you are. When you tell yourself you are the master, guess what? You're going to start functioning as a master. So that's the difference here. There's a difference between thinking you are and knowing you are. And that's when you start, as Neo did, start dodging bullets because he started to believe. So that's why I said this movie has so many different hidden constructs and hidden things that we can take from the movie and take it into our real lives. Or if you're confused about a concept, watch the movie and you'll start seeing, different synchronicities within it. So that's how Neo was able to start dodging bullets, because he started to know that he was the master, know that he could dodge bullets when the time came, and he started to believe that he was the one. So that's what I want you guys to take from this episode, is just going from thinking you are to knowing you are, and those are two different levels of living when you guys do that. Also, guys, a couple more things before we wrap up today. Reboot your mind. Reboot your body. Like I said, with the mind work is Ho'oponopono, the 4 pillars of that prayer. That's going to help. Forgiveness is going to help reboot your mind. getting back in touch with your inner child is going to reboot. Reboot your body too. That's another thing. When you tell your body you love it, it's going to start rebooting itself. It might take some time because, like we always, as we know, it takes about 2 weeks for your body. Well, I'll say this: for my personal training days, I remember them telling us that it takes about 2 weeks for the body to respond to a new program. So that's where soreness and all that stuff comes from. When you guys are first starting to work out again, is your body's doesn't like it. It's not used to it. So it plays a trick on you and just becomes super sore, and it kind of doesn't want you to change your life. But like I said, give it about 14 days of rebooting your body and telling your body you love it. It's going to start, changing. And like I said, guys, especially in the gym, I lift more than I ever lifted in my life. It's just my body feels a lot better than what it used to be. So once again, guys, reboot your body. And another thing I want to share with you guys is stop being lost in your dream. That's what I want to tell you guys as well. Do not be lost in your dream anymore. You finally take control of your dreamscape again. And that's what I want you guys to do as a mental alchemist, is if you're the dreamer, you can change your dream at any time. It's your dream. It's not a shared dream with someone else. This is your dream. This is your consciousness. This is your subconscious. So if you guys think about that, you can start really changing your lives. And like I said, guys, to wrap things up, know it you love. Get back to knowing what you love to do with your life. That's number one. Number two, like I just talked about, practice Ho'oponopono almost every day. If you're not used to telling yourself those things, get in the habit of doing it every day. You can do it by yourself, alone, at night. Close the door if you live with other people. If you live alone, you can say it anytime out loud to yourself. So once again, guys, the Hawaiian practice is so beautiful, such a beautiful culture out there on those islands. Truly starting to understand, the Hawaiian culture out there is so different from the mainland. We'll get into that into another podcast episode. And then also, guys, like I said in the last episode, you got to start protecting your higher self from hackers and attackers. Once again, guys, get to know yourself. When you know yourself, you can block. You can put those blocks up to those hackers and attackers, and you'll stop letting people tell you who you are, or talking down to you, or telling you this, that, and other thing. You'll stop those attacks, and you block it, and like I said, you start living unbothered. And if people are still trying to attack you, like I said, now you can calmly tell them, this is who I am. I don't believe what you're telling me. So that's another thing I want you guys to take away from that. And meditation. We got to meditate. For those of you guys thinking meditation is a bad thing, it's not. It's a practice. We do, for those of you who do pray, prayer is actually meditation. It's just a different way of doing it. But ultimately, guys, prayer is meditation. You're using this as a receiver out into the quantum field. So you guys are doing meditation, you don't even think about it. So why not just be conscious about it now? And like I said, guys, sit down with yourself and meditate. Get to know yourself, become familiar with yourself, become familiar with your body, become familiar with your mind. When you guys start scanning your body, scanning your mind, especially in the morning, something that aches, now you can send some love to it. And now your brain can start releasing healing chemicals and start healing that part of your body. So that's why I said, everything that you guys need to be a successful star traveler is in your body. You can start healing yourself once you really start tapping into the computer up there. And then I want you guys to live out loud. Live out loud. When you discover yourself, live out loud, live unapologetically, because you know who you are. Dance, have fun, meet new people, go to a party, go to a winery, go to a friend's house, stay in, to go on a hike, go on a road trip, go on a trip, go on a voyage, as we talked about. You do these things and live out loud, guys. It's like I said, this doesn't have to be a nightmare. It can be a beautiful dream. But like we talked about, you got to do the work first for that to be a beautiful dream. And then a few more things, regain control of your childish enthusiasm. And what I mean by childish enthusiasm is being curious about everyone and everything all the time. Meeting new people, start asking questions. Um, you know, Talking to your baristas when you go to the coffee shop. That's a way of being curious. Talking to the bank teller when you guys are at the bank, if you do go, ask them how their day goes. And guess what? They're going to respond back. Especially in the flight world, when you guys are interacting with your flight attendants, ask them how their day is. Guys, these are simple things you guys can do, and be curious. Ask people questions, get to know them. And, it's just that human part of us that I think we should get back in contact with. And that in that inner child too, being curious and happy again. And the last thing I want to say, guys, is, when you lead with love, let love lead the way, and it will guide you through life. It's guided me here. It's guided me back to, like I said, my family. It's guided me back to friends of mine. Love is just really leading the way for me right now, and I'm truly in love with my life finally. And I'm truly happy every day. Like I said, I don't have to tell myself I'm happy anymore. It's already coming out of me. So also I wanted to leave you guys with is lead with love. When you lead with love, love will guide you. Love will put you where you need to be in life if you start with love. So that's all I want to say to you guys on this Saturday afternoon, which is, like I said, a beautiful day. And like I talked about in the beginning of this episode, I was going to take a break, but like I said, my inner being was very active today. So I feel like the inner being is saying, yes, we got everything out that we wanted to talk about. So once again, guys, know thyself. Nosce de ipsum. Like I said, it's an old Latin word. So get to know yourself, live prosperous, happy lives. And I just can't wait to keep talking to you guys about what I know. And future things with me, like I said, I'll post some stuff on Instagram as well. So that's how you guys can stay in touch with me. And like I talked about before, I'm doing the Vitality live experience on September 26th, which is the breathwork workshop. I think he's been going all over the United States, healing and helping people. So I'm just gonna dive into it, see what he's doing. A friend of mine went, and he said it was just a evolutionary part of his life that things have changed inside of him. So like I said, I'll try to film that and post stuff about that to maybe encourage you guys to go to the Vitality Live experience as well. But that's all I have coming up for me. Just work, and like I said, living my best life. And yeah, we're just gonna do that. And thanks, guys, for paying attention. Thank you for listening to this hour of me talking. Like I said, I really do appreciate all of you light beings out there who are curious about me, and I'm curious about you. So let's be curious together, guys, and live wonderful lives. And I think that's all I want to say. I'm going to try to play a song after this, a song that I'm really vibing on. It's called Space Cowboy by Jamiroquai. I really love that song. But I played it I don't know, several times today, and I just feel like I'm a cosmic cowboy or space cowboy. So if I can, I'm going to try to play the song. Like I said, I love dance music. So dance soul house. So hopefully I can upload it and that could be my outro. But once again, guys, I love this song, Space Cowboy. Anyway, listen to it. I'll try to upload it. If not, guys, have a beautiful weekend. Have a prosperous week. And I will see you guys on my next episode. Thank you so much. See you next time, light beings.